Weekend in the East Bay, and at 66th and Hagenberger, the Athletics have been playing some exciting baseball. Their solid pitching, outstanding defense, and clutch hitting, and the green and gold off to the best start since 1992. Today they go for the four-game sweep and will hand the ball to one of their young guns, Brett Anderson. The recently signed lefty will look to keep the streak alive. It's afternoon baseball from the Coliseum. A's, O's, next. Sunday afternoon baseball from the Coliseum. Lots of kids in the house, as always, on Sundays. It is also the calendar giveaway, the pet calendar giveaway today here at the Coliseum. The A's are playing great baseball, and Brett Anderson is going to try to finish off the four-game sweep of the Orioles. It's the Baltimore Orioles and the Oakland A's. It's the final of this four-game series coming up on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. I'm Glenn Kuiper, along with my broadcast partner, Ray Fosse. Clearly, the first 2 weeks of this season, there's been some magic here in Oakland, and that magic never more evident than yesterday in the ninth inning, Ray. A couple breaks here and there, it doesn't matter. The A's took advantage of those breaks, won the game in walk-off fashion. Well, the difference yesterday, the A's were actually behind going the ninth inning. The first two walk-offs were tied in the ninth and 10th, but yesterday afternoon, Adam Rosales continues to play very well in the absence of Mark Ellis. So a leadoff single, a great bunt to get him to second base. I mean, a lot of great things happened. But how about this? A wild pitch on a strikeout. The ball went into the stands. Never in my years have I ever seen a ball go in the stand. And then Ryan Sweeney with a ball to right field. Rajay Davis scoring from second. Almost caught Eric Patterson, the pinch runner. But the A's in dramatic fashion won it in the bottom of the ninth inning. Scoring 2 runs. Ryan Sweeney's first ever walk-off. What an exciting thing for him. But you know, the ball, it hit a divot in the left-handed batter's box. And as Matt Weeder said, I did not know where the ball was. Had the ball hit the backstop, the A's might have tied the score anyway with Patterson scoring for second. Very, very exciting ball game. Either way, we say thank you very much. Thank you. The A's get the win. They'll try to make it 4 in a row over the Baltimore Orioles. They feel good. Brett Anderson, we think he's the ace, and he is on the mound this afternoon. Lineups and first pitch in just a moment.
by AT&T, a better 3G experience. And by Corona. Relax and refresh this May 5th with an ice-cold Corona and lime. And keep the spirit of Cinco alive.
Well, the Little Leaguers went out onto the field with the A's, as they always do on Sundays. Derek Barton making a couple of those little. The Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, the admission is free, and the boardwalk is open this weekend. It's a gorgeous afternoon in the East Bay. 73 degrees, bright sunshine, and not a cloud in the sky. Good day for baseball, and a good day for a sweep. The A's will try to do that this afternoon over the Orioles. Brett Anderson on the mound. Adam Jones steps into the box, and we are set to go from the Coliseum. Anderson kicks, and the first pitch is at the knees for a strike.
First pitch, 106, 64 degrees.
We'll give you the rest of the Orioles lineup in a moment. So Brett Anderson on the mound. Jones the hitter with a .231 average in the early going, a homer, a couple of RBIs. He's got 4 hits in this series. 3 of them came in one game.
Hard to believe all the season last year, of course, the A's did not play the Orioles that much, but Brett Anderson did not face Baltimore, his first ever start against them. Same for Mattis against the Athletics. He's a little bit older than Brett. He's 23.
Yep, he's getting up there, isn't he? A couple of young, rising stars, Anderson and Mattis. Fielden Culbreth is the home plate umpire. Kuzmanov throws, and that's the first out. Adam Jones grounds out to third. Rest of the Orioles lineup. Wigginton will hit second. Markakis third. Nolan Reimold is the cleanup hitter. Matt Wieters will hit fifth. Garrett Atkins at first. Lou Montanez in left. Justin Turner is actually at second base, and his Torres is the shortstop. Defensively for the Athletics, Buck Davis and Sweeney in the outfield. Kuzmanov, Pennington, Rosales, Barton on the infield. And as usual, Kurt Suzuki behind the plate. Brett Anderson, 22 years old. Good fastball right on the inside corner, 0-2.
Speed gun is working early today. Yesterday in the afternoon game against the Orioles, it was working early. Then it kind of turned off a little bit, so we get a chance to see the excellent velocity of left-hander Brett Anderson. Of course, the great breaking ball, already a ground ball out on a slider inside.
Both of Anderson's first 2 starts of this season against the Seattle Mariners, 1 at home, 1 on the road. Bounced up the middle off the throwing hand of Brett Anderson, and let's hope he's okay. He put that hand up.
Let's hope he got it flush. Kurt Suzuki immediately out, as well as a couple of other infielders. He says he's okay. Always dangerous. And it looked like it did get him flush, but just below the index finger, that area is very tender, especially on the throwing hand.
Batting in the third position, right fielder, number 21, Nick Markakis.
But it's more of a reaction thing for a pitcher. Just see a ball up the middle and does not really mind. It doesn't think about it. You see some guys actually pull their hand back.
Nick Markakis, the third place hitter. Over the years, the A's have seen Markakis be a very dangerous hitter, which he is, but been quiet in the early going of this season. Just a .220 average with only 1 RBI.
Rajay Davis in center field, playing him slightly in the left center, and we have seen in this series taking some ground, the curveball inside and shooting them to left field and left center, especially now with 2 strikes and a left-handed pitcher. Waits very well. You like to face teams that are struggling early. You also like to face hitters who might be struggling, because you know they're going to pick it up.
saw the 3 great seasons from Markakis. Over 100 RBIs in 2 of those 3 seasons. His numbers will be there when it's all said and done. Swing and a miss on the fastball. 96 miles an hour. And Brett Anderson, a 3-up, 3-down inning in the top of the first. Bottom of the first inning, no score. A's lineup this afternoon: Davis, Barton, Sweeney, Kuzmanov, Suzuki, Fox, Rosales, Buck, and Pennington. Orioles lineup like this in the outfield: Montez, Jones, Markakis. Infield: Wigginton, Izturis, Turner, Atkins. Wieters is the catcher. Brian Mattis, 23-year-old left-hander, is on the mound. So Brian Mattis faces Rajay Davis. First pitch is a fastball for a strike.
Did Marty Foster high strike zone from Field and Culbreth? Got to establish that early. That was a strike to Vladimir Guerrero. Should have been swinging.
A swinging strike, yeah.
There's
pretty good change.
That's the pitch that he will throw anytime, especially to right-handers. Great left-handed changeup. Pull the string and right over the top, and an excellent off-speed pitch. And again,
he threw it again, and he gets Rajay Davis swinging.
Well, he's just 23 and
made
8 starts last year for the Orioles. This is the 11th career start, 2 against Tampa Bay. He won 1, which, what does that tell you? With a record of 1-11 for the Orioles, he has their only win. Fastball low 90s. He will throw an assortment of pitches, but as we have seen, and he's not opposed to throwing at the left-handers as well. Good young catcher behind the plate in Matt Wieters, so a battery that's probably going to be around with the Orioles for quite a while.
Mattis was the 4th overall pick in 2008. He did not pitch professionally in 2008. Last year, 19 minor league starts, and then he was called up on the 4th of August. So he was obviously advanced coming out of college. He did not need much time in the minor leagues.
And you look at his contract, or his contract status, he signed through 2012, which means he got a major league contract. Because otherwise a young pitcher has the options, and of course he has the options well, but all we have to do is think about Todd Van Poppel, who signed a major league contract out of high school, which meant in 3 years he had to be in the big leagues, and that was very costly for him, especially his career in the athletics. You just have to be there. You start using those options, and after 3 are gone, you have to be there exposed to a waiver wire.
It makes you wish that guys would just do it the traditional way.
Yeah.
And I know it's easy for me to say because there's major dollars involved, but
well, it's more of just kind of making sure you're going to get to big leagues, or at least for that club, or you're going to be open to other clubs. Now, a college player is much different because he at least has the experience of being in college. But a high school player, you come out at 18, and you go to spring training, and you're sitting down. That's one option. You do it the next 2 years. After the third option, as we have seen in talking about Patterson and Jake Fox, you're out of options. If you're going to be sent down, you have to clear waivers with every other club in baseball.
2-2 to Derek Barton. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Another off-speed pitch. So that's 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
Check out our keys to the game brought to you by Toyota. 14 in a row. Finish strong to 14 in a row. The A's first off day tomorrow. And Anderson's side sealed, and he is delivering. There's no doubt about that. And clipping the birds at home, the Orioles. And it looks like a tough matchup today with this young man, Mattis, throwing a very good changeup so far, getting the 2 strikeouts.
Mattis went to the University of San Diego. Grew up in the Phoenix area.
And living in Paradise Valley, that's not a bad place to live in Arizona.
He's 6'4", 190 pounds. Oh, 2. High fly ball, left field toward the line. Montanez, a long run right near the bullpen in foul territory. He cannot quite come up with it. Didn't look off the bat like that ball was going to be that far into foul territory.
The ball kept slicing, but one thing, Montanez, he started looking as if he was going to have to worry about the bullpen mound. There's no elevation on the home plate. He just kind of lost direction a little bit when he took his eye off the ball to see where he was, and that was just enough for him not to make the catch. And headlong dive, uniform dirty, and the A's player said, nice try.
Good effort. Strike 3 called.
Wow.
So Fielding Culbreth brings up Sweeney, and Mattis strikes out the side in the bottom of the first. No score, top of the second inning. Well, you have to have an umbrella because the sun is too bright. Well, that's a good sign. Nolan Reimold leads off, the cleanup hitter for the Orioles. Brett Anderson, a 3-up, 3-down inning in the first, a couple of ground ball outs and a strikeout. And in the early going, at least, Fielding Culbreth, the home plate umpire, looks like he may have a fairly generous strike zone. So you may want to be ready to swing. 2-1 to Reimold, the DH.
Well, the strike to Ryan Sweeney, we talk about a high strike, that was high.
Yeah.
Especially the call, of course, it would force the hitters to start thinking about that pitch.
Rosales, nice play, jump throw, got him.
Oh, my goodness.
Terrific play by Adam Rosales.
Look at the catch and the jump. All that arm strength coming while in midair. And Derek Barton didn't even need to stretch. That's how great of a play, the strong throw made by Adam Rosales. What a tremendous, tremendous play. The accuracy is unbelievable. And there's no doubt having a shortstop, third baseman's strong arm helped him on that play. Playing second base, a shorter throw, but still to be up in the air like that.
A shot to Kuzminov, knocks it down, throws in time. Wieters is retired.
Another great play. That's the hot corner and using your body. Brett Anderson will be taking these guys out to dinner tonight. A strong shot, but when you're at the hot corner, you have to use your body, and Kuzminov did exactly that. You better take it easy and strike somebody out now. After those two balls, those two plays.
Either that or Cliff Pennington better be ready. It's his turn.
Mark Ellis hopes to play Tuesday night when the A's welcome in the world champion Yankees. He has not played since last Sunday when he was the DH in Anaheim. Injured his left hamstring. Adam Rosales has stepped in and done a magnificent job. Both sides, offense, big hits, and of course you've seen the defense. Hey, just like you called.
That's right. Pennington getting his action, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Brett Anderson. Second one in a row. Bottom of the second coming up. No score.
And batting in the fourth position, third baseman, number 5, Kevin Kuzminov.
Well, Bloomberg Sports, the leader in data analysis, has developed an analytical product being used by baseball clubs. There's also a product for fans. Improve your fantasy play or track your favorite players and teams. Go to BloombergSports.com for details. Kevin Kuzminov leading things off. Ryan Mattis struck out the side, 2 swinging, 1 looking in the first inning. So we're impressed. Good changeup.
I think as a hitter, you start thinking, let's sit on a certain pitch, and this is the first inning where Brian Mattis, a changeup to Rajay Davis, back-to-back changeups, and another changeup, and then a called fastball, head high. For strike 3, and Ryan Sweeney still can't believe it.
Adam Jones in and toward right center field. Those long strides, and Adam Jones takes care of Kuzminov.
Batting in the fifth position, the catcher,
So 1 out here in the second, and that'll bring up Kurt Suzuki. Kurt 195 to start the season with a homer and 4 RBIs. You hate to see a guy struggle. Kurt Suzuki has in the early going. Kevin Kuzminoff coming into today 220 with 5 RBIs. Those are probably your most legitimate RBI guys. But the point is they may be struggling some, but the A's are 9-4.
Right.
And they are not going to struggle a long time.
As we always say, that's the beauty of a team sport. You pick each other up. And for the individual sports, it's up to you. Eric Chavez started to swing the bat very well. What a great play he made, a swing yesterday, and getting Rajai Davis over to third. He took an outside fastball and pulled it to second base. I mean, that's some strength that Eric Chavez is starting to display with his swing. Still not a lot of at-bats, but you can see that he's picking it up.
Jake Fox gets a fastball on the first pitch and fouls it over the Orioles bullpen. Fox is 1 for 4 in the series. This is his 6th start overall. 4 as the DH now and 2 as the catcher. Line drive, and that's a base hit to left field. 2-out single for Fox, his 3rd hit this year.
That changeup either thrown too hard or a great job of sitting on a changeup by Jake Fox, because that ball was hit hard. And a very good swing by Jake. So Jake Fox DH today gives Eric Chavez today and tomorrow off, and the A's will enjoy their first off day of the season.
And Adam Rosales has done such a terrific job. It has eased the pain of losing Mark Ellis for a week. 364 for Rosales. So not only is he getting hits, obviously, the batting average shows that, but big hits too.
Yeah.
Timely hits, like yesterday, perfect example. Got the bottom of the ninth started with a single.
Well, the thing that every manager says, you play yourself into the lineup, and when Mark Ellis comes back, you may find a spot to put
Sure.
Adam Rosales while he's hot. Keep him going.
Wigington flips to second, and that will do it. Jake Fox with a 2-out single, nothing else. We're headed to the 3rd inning from the Coliseum. No score.
Position, Left fielder, number 16, Lou Montanez.
Good look at the barbecue terrace out in left field, just over the fence. Busy place today.
Think Dallaire will ever put us out there to do a game?
Nice.
Now he's trying to say it's hard to reserve it.
What do we, chop liver? Come on. Shot. Davis in the left center, and he makes the catch. Lou Montanez. Hard hit ball, but into the glove of Rajay Davis. 1 out. Here's our Subway Eat Fresh Ask Glenn and Ray question. Bill Knight from Sacramento asks, Kurt Suzuki gets his catcher's mask off quickly and efficiently. Ray, do catchers practice this?
Probably not. I think that's just a natural reaction to what he did in Seattle when he made that unbelievable play at third when his mask was flying off. It flew off without him taking it off. That was just a matter of his head spun around, his whole body spun around, and his mask flew off. And he avoided hitting his mask or having the mask interrupt his throwing to third base to get Sean Figgins. But I think it's just a natural. And the most important thing, and we saw with Adam Moore, the catcher of the Seattle Mariners, when he used his mask and had interference called on him, he used his mask to stop the baseball. The important thing is to get rid of the mask so you're not tempted, whether it's a ball that you block in the dirt or even a foul ball that you're trying to catch. Get rid of it. Throw it as far away as you can. And one of the last homestand for Kurt Suzuki. How about this? He got rid of it quickly. The helmet fell off. And boom, a sliding catch into the Gatorade containers in the visiting dugout in front of Don Wakamatsu and the Mariners. But that is in the same motion of getting up out of your position, finding the baseball, and as you start to move, get rid of the mask. Now, the new hockey style mask.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I don't know that those just pull off, do they?
Well, and a lot of guys don't take them off either because the vision, you have such a clear vision with the mask.
Justin Turner grounds out. Umpires got to worry about the mask, too. This is Friday night. Gary Cederstrom.
That's the hockey mask, and I think the umpires all should wear those just to protect themselves as much as possible. But you can see visually with the hockey style mask, you don't have as big a bar to look through. And with plays at the plate, catchers using those masks will keep them on.
Pennington got a glove on it, but it's going to be a base hit for Cesar Izturis with 2 outs. It's the first hit for the Orioles this afternoon.
I would venture to say Cliff Pennington would say he should have caught it.
Yeah, he'd like to have another shot at that one. He did not dive. He just kind of went into a slide.
He's looking back, and that's usually an indication that hit something, but it was a hard hit ball, and to say that that would cost a pitcher a no-hitter, you can think about the plays that have already been made in this game, which I think that's a pretty good chance of one happening. It did in Atlanta last night, huh?
How about that? Romualdo Jimenez for the Rockies against the Braves. First ever no-hitter by a Colorado Rocky. I saw highlights of the game. I did not see the game, but it was funny. He was pretty wild early. He ended up walking 6 and striking out 7, but they kind of showed him in the 3rd, 4th, 5th inning where he looked a little frustrated because he did not have real good control. Line drive coming in and playing it on a hop is Travis Buck. So Adam Jones with the hit. Back-to-back 2-out hits for the Orioles.
Back-to-back pitches. Brett Anderson going to the slide step. This is a changeup that was down, and Adam Jones, a good swing, hitting the ball to left field.
Jimenez in that no-hitter, Ray, ended up throwing 128 pitches.
Tough to take him out in the pitch count.
they showed the miles per hour. The last 2 pitches he threw in the game were 98, 97.
He lost a lot, didn't he? 127, 120. There was evidently, I saw a highlight of the center fielder making a great play in the left center.
Yeah, Fowler, terrific. Line drive, and that's trouble. It's going to go down into the right field corner. 1 run scores. Adam Jones being waved home. Rosales is going to hold it, not make a throw. Didn't have a chance anyways, and a 2-out, 2-run double for Ty Wigington. The Orioles have not been able to get that hit really all year. Atkins got one yesterday, but a big one here in the 3rd inning.
Tried to go another fastball inside, but this one was left outside. And Wigington, who crushed the ball off Dallas Brayton a couple of nights ago, a fastball to right field. And the first 2 runs that Brent Anderson's given up this year.
And it comes with 2 outs. So Ty Wigington with the 2-run double. So Wigington has just 2 hits in the series, but he's got 5 RBIs. Got the home run Ray mentioned, a sacrifice fly, and now this 2-run double. Breaking pitch outside to Markakis, 2-1. Markakis struck out looking in the 1st inning. That is the lone strikeout for Anderson so far. Three and 1. Markakis is 3 for 13 in the series. All 3 of his hits doubles. It's a good fastball right on the outside corner. Mistura a single, Jones a single, Wigington a double. Up the middle into center field, and that's a base hit, and that's going to bring Wigington home. Markakis has an RBI single. It's 3-0 Baltimore.
And threw a fastball by Markakis his first at bat. This time, though, tried to do the same. And
number 14,
didn't get it done. Right back over the mound. And as good a hitter as Markakis is, it's not a bad guy to try to think about not giving in to him. 3-2 with a fastball. Maybe try a breaking ball, especially with first base open.
Here's Reimold. Strike at the knees. And before this inning, the Orioles, with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, we talked about it earlier in this series, but 2 for 44. 2 for 44. And that's why they hit by Wigington and Markakis. Probably a big deal for the Orioles, because that's the hit they have not been able to get.
That is Terry Crowley, the longtime hitting coach for the Orioles in many years in the 24th season. Major League coach, says a lot.
The ball goes into left field, and Markakis picked off, so he's going to get up. He's going to try for third, and the throw is a bit high. He had Markakis picked off.
Well, because Pennington was playing the hitter, Reimold, to pull, it was a second baseman covering, which is unusual. And so the throw, a little bit up, but a good enough throw. And especially as Derek Barton had to throw to a base runner or a fielder on the move.
It's a caught stealing E3. Reimold flies out, but damage done for the Orioles. They score 3 times on 4 hits. 3-0 Baltimore. Well, starting May 4th, Tuesdays mean free parking. That's starting May 4th. You'll be able to drive to the game and not pay for parking for most Tuesday games the rest of the season. That starts May 4th when the A's host the Texas Rangers. Order tickets at oaklandathletics.com or call 877-493-BALL. Again, that's starting May 4th. It's a good deal.
Absolutely.
Travis Buck to lead it off. Buck, Pennington, and Davis for the A's in the bottom of the third. So the A's trailing 3-0 against Brian Mattis, who has 3 strikeouts. He's given up 1 hit in the first 2 innings.
Dave Tremblay hoping that Brian Mattis doesn't panic with the run support. Something the starters have not had for the Orioles in this series.
The Orioles won the 3rd game of the year. Their 3rd game of the year. That was last Thursday. Since then, they have lost 9 straight, and they are 1-11. Orioles lost Miguel Tejada yesterday for seems to be a short period of time.
Watch it, bam, right there, and he just fell. Wasn't a head first dive. It is a great bunt, but got his right groin.
At least from reading in the paper, it didn't seem to think, the Orioles didn't seem to think that it would be a trip to the DL, but wait a couple days.
They got a chance to see him prior to the ball game, and Ricky Henderson was in town at the Coliseum. He's been visiting the minor league clubs for the A's. Sacramento's going to Stockton, so he was talking to Miggy, and Miggy just said a couple of days. For a guy that had this streak as long as he did for consecutive games played, he played through a lot.
Breaking ball, and Buck rolls it foul.
But after a come from behind win yesterday in the 9th inning down by a run, A's dugout's got to be saying, let's figure out a way to get back in this game, guys, and just keep battling. We have not seen anybody give up on this team so far in the first 13 games, and no reason to start now.
I think winning a game like yesterday for any team early in the year makes a big difference.
Sure. I always look back to those games and say, we did it then, we could do it now. Ryan Sweeney with a big hit yesterday in the 9th.
Fastball, swing and a miss. It's worth looking at again. Here it is, Ryan Sweeney. A 3-2 count yesterday.
Worked the count, pretty good pitch from Jen Johnson. The closer now. You see how close Rajay Davis was to Eric Patterson scoring. So Ryan getting the big beat. Everybody beating on him. See the jerseys worn yesterday, and it says only one thing. Justin Duxer was the pitcher.
Right.
Black alternate jerseys.
So the A's with a 9-4 record. That's their best start after 13 games since 1992. Which was a good year for the A's.
Absolutely.
Won the division. Little pop-up over first, and it's going to fall. Pennington will have a bloop single with 1 out here in the 3rd.
Turner, long run, and just could not get to it. I was chuckling because of the guest public address announcer. Had a great guest yesterday named Roy Steele, who was back in the booth along with Dick Callahan. Great to hear Roy yesterday on Roy Steele Bobblehead Day.
I don't know if you saw the picture in the Contra Costa Times, Ray. Big article on Roy Steele in the front of the sports page. Headlines, his voice still carries. They had a picture of Roy from yesterday, his hands raised. And I thought it was just a terrific picture. It was great. A day well deserved for Roy Steele, and I think he really enjoyed himself. It was fun talking to him on Friday night.
Yeah.
shot to first. Atkins makes the play, steps on the bag, and now Pennington's in a rundown, and he will be tagged out. So that's a double play, and that's how the bottom of the third comes to an end. Fourth inning coming up, 3-0 Baltimore. Three 3-0 Orioles. A little concern for Cliff Pennington. It looks like he's going to stay in the game, but watch his right hand. Watch the right hand.
Yeah, right there. Stepped on by Ty Wigington, or Atkins, that is, Garrett Atkins. And that is a big foot.
Ow.
On a small hand.
He seems to be okay. He's going to stay in the game.
Steve Sales kind of cleaning it off, and Bob Garrett was telling Eric Patterson to start throwing just in case.
And Patterson did. He was actually standing on top of the dugout with his glove ready to go, but Pennington stays in the game.
It's a gamer.
He is a gamer. There's a little cut right there. Could have been worse. So Brett Anderson back to work. 3-0 Orioles. And Matt Wieters does not wait around. He hit a ball hard in the first inning, or make that the second inning for an out. He's got a base hit here. Fifth hit off Anderson. So Brett Anderson breezed through the first 2 innings. 6 up, 6 down, but he ran into 2-out trouble in the third. And he's back in the stretch here in the fourth. He'll face Garrett Atkins. Fastball first strike to Atkins. Atkins grounded to short in the second inning. He's had a pretty good series. 4 for 11. Of course, he had a big 2-out RBI hit yesterday.
Well, if you're thinking back to yesterday and the success the A's had in the 9th inning, a little bit of luck, if you will, scoring 2 runs. So look at today with the play Atkins made on Rajay Davis ball. Could have been a double down the line. Second and third, maybe a run scored.
Kuzminoff will go to first in time. Wieters goes down to second. We were talking about Roy Steele, and here's a look at some of the festivities from yesterday. Roy Steele Day, the bobblehead, of course, Roy.
Chester Farrell, longtime friend, and as the balls and strikes in the diamond vision, caught the ceremony of first pitch. Roy,
I remember. Drive home safe.
Drive home safe. Up the middle, and that's a base hit into center field. Wieters, the big guy, rounding third. Throw to the plate is cut off, and that's an RBI single for Lou Montanez. 4-0 Baltimore.
And they're not wasting any time. They're swinging early and often against Brett Anderson.
Now batting, number 6, Justin Turner.
Backdoor breaking ball stayed up and just under the glove of Anderson into center field.
So Lou Montanez, his first hit this year, he was just called up a couple days ago. Here's Justin Turner. .53 pitches for Brett Anderson so far in the game.
Figure out a way to get quick outs and get back in the dugout. Got to put some zeros on the board to the Orioles from scoring.
Anderson makes a nice play. He'll get the out at first. And that's not an easy play for Brett Anderson because of how he falls off the mound to the third base side. And that ball was hit softly, but it was to the first base
Now
side.
batting, number 3.
And I don't know that Adam Rosales, as deep as he was playing, would have been able to charge the ball quickly enough to throw out Turner, who seems to run well. It's an excellent play by Brett Anderson, especially going back to his right.
Two outs, runner in scoring position. That's Montanez. For Cesar is Torres. Torres had, at the time, was kind of an innocent 2-out base hit in the third inning, but it was the first of 4 straight hits off Anderson, and it led to 3 runs. Slow roller toward Rosales, and he flips to first side, retired. A run for the Orioles, bottom of the 4th coming up. Orioles 4, A's nothing.
Number 10, Gary Wharton.
All right, here's our trivia question brought to you by AT&T. What starting pitcher had the longest scoreless streak to start a season last decade? Starting pitcher, longest scoreless streak to start a season. There's Brett Anderson. Had 12 scoreless innings going into today and extended that to 14 before giving up the runs in the third. Give you that answer in just a little bit. Bottom of the 4th inning, and Derek Barton to lead it off.
Did you say last year?
Last decade, 2000 to 2009. Who had the longest?
Ricky did a pretty good job last year. I don't know what his numbers were. He had a great April.
Barton fouls it back. Well, this is longest season opening scoreless streak as a starter in Oakland history. Matt Keogh in 1980. Catfish in 69.
Take it.
Yeah. Barton gets hit on a 1-2 count.
See, the fans boo. And granted, you hit somebody at your team, you're going to boo, but this is one you take one for the team. 2 strikes and took one on the 0 in the back and get an inning started.
Especially when you're trailing 4-0.
Yeah.
The pitcher looks like he's got pretty good stuff.
Steve Sales, Walt Horn, they've all got ice. Well, come on. I mean, they got a whole container down there that's full of ice. I mean, not to say that it didn't hurt. His right arm, but it got in the back of the right arm. He's young, some ice on it, and the off day tomorrow, be ready to go Tuesday.
Inside to Ryan Sweeney, so a leadoff base runner for the A's.
Aaron Rowan got hit in the head a couple of nights ago by Vicente Padilla. That's a shock. He had to put him on the DL, right?
Yeah, he had some small fractures in his cheek.
That was scary watching that.
Well, then you have the decision to make. Guy wants to play, and of course they can do the football mask thing. But what if you get hit again and it jars your face a little bit? That's going to get worse, right?
Terry Steinbach wore one of those, an extension that came around, kind of a semi-football type mask on the left side. And it got to the point that he said, I want to keep it. I swing the bat so well, just added protection. But that's scary, though, when you see a ball above the shoulders at a player.
2-0 to Sweeney. And there's a fastball for a strike.
I think the A's, if they can find a way to get a run on the board, you get a little confidence against a pretty good pitcher, Ryan Mattis.
In Mattis's 2 starts this year, he went 5 innings first start and 7 1/3 in his second start. Right now he's at 46 pitches, and we're in the 4th inning. Nobody out. Sweeney goes after the high fastball and fouls it back.
And why is that? Because he called him out on the same pitch, the first at bat. I mean, that's not an easy pitch to hit. And Brian Mattis is not really overpowering with his fastball, but up in the zone, as we always said, that's a very tough pitch to try to get hit on top of instead of hitting under. Like that.
Same thing. Shallow left. Lou Montanez. He's got it.
Next Saturday, it's April 24th. The A's will host the Cleveland Indians. Game time's 1:05. 15,000 fans will receive a Ryan Sweeney jersey, and it's brought to you by Pepsi. Number 21. That is, order your tickets online now at oaklandathletics.com, or you can always call 877-493-BALL.
The Tribe finished off a 3-game sweep of the White Sox this afternoon in Cleveland. 7-4 Indians over the White Sox. That's a final. So the Indians, after a slow start, back to the 500 mark, 6-6. And they've won 4 in a row.
That's Ozzie Guillen's team. The White Sox now have lost 4 in a row. They're 4-9 to start the season. Ozzie's not holding anything back either.
Markakis is going to get there. And that's the second out. Ray, we need to send out a very special hello and a good luck to a huge A's fan. His name is Jesse Galindo.
Yep.
He is at Stanford Hospital. Unfortunately, he's been diagnosed with AML, which is a form of leukemia. He's waiting for a bone marrow transplant at Stanford Hospital. Huge A's fan, and we just want to say hello, and we certainly wish him the best of luck. We hope everything works out. We know that he's going to keep cheering for the A's. I'm sure he's thrilled with the A's fast start, just like we are. We wish him good luck. Jesse Galindo. So we hope he's watching or listening. I know he listens to games on the radio when he can and watches our games on TV.
We talked about it a little bit on radio yesterday. I'm talking about an A's blanket. I said, get some sluggies to him. Randy Duran, find a way to get some sluggies over to him, and have everybody in his room saying he can borrow a sluggie every once in a while.
Right center, and that's a base hit. Barton will round second. He will head to third. So the A's first and third with 2 outs. It's a good swing by Kurt Suzuki.
Well, one time through the batting order, something you try to pick up, you learn fastball, and maybe Kurt was sitting changeup. Got a fastball, and as a result, to right center was the result, and that is a good job of hitting. Players talk. What is this guy doing? Try to pick up something because they are seeing it for the first time. And, of course, our good buddy Adam Roden, all the video he can put together to show the guys, release point. Adam is the best when it comes to putting together the footage for the guys.
Base hit left field. Jake Fox gets the A's on the board. Swings at the first pitch, and that is an RBI, his 4th of the year, and it's a 4-1 game.
Back-to-back singles for Jake Fox and back-to-back hits on changeups. A high changeup from Madison. Jake Fox swinging early as usual, but this one up and jumped all over it. Very, very strong right-handed hitter. And he jumped on the fastball. So Derek Barton, so what happened? Take one for the team. He scores a run.
That's right. Just like a walk. Especially if you're behind in the count like Barton is.
As long as you don't get hurt. And I'm sure, again, Bart's young enough to do it. So you just got to keep it going, and he scores the first run. So the A's are on the board.
Adam Rosales steps in. Grounded out to third to end the second inning. Swing and a miss. Some tailing action on that fastball from Brian Mattis. Chavez. He's got a glove in his hand.
That might be shortstop, too.
We shall see.
Or Barton at first. My apologies. And Barton, I didn't mean that. He must have gotten hit someplace more bone than muscle. And that's too bad because the way he dangled his arm a little bit.
Well, you just saw Soup, Steve Sales, give the signal that Barton's a no-go.
Yeah. That's too bad. And granted, what we're talking about, taking one for the team, that's right. But, you never want to see a guy get hurt. And obviously he got it on a part of his body that did hurt. We hope he's okay.
Changeup, swing and a miss, struck him out. Strikeout number 5 for Mattis, but a run for the A's on Jake Fox's RBI single.
defensive team for the Athletics. Now playing first base, number 3, Eric.
So here's our trivia answer brought to you by AT&T. What starting pitcher had the longest scoreless streak to start a season last decade? Ray was right. Zach Greinke last year opened the season with 29 consecutive scoreless innings. Well, it led to the Cy Young, so it pays to get off to a good start. Eric Chavez is indeed at first base, taking over for Derek Barton. First time this year, second time in his career.
And of course, everybody, or a lot of people, expected him to be there a lot during the regular season, but that all changed. Final game of the exhibition season. The A's decided to designate Jack Cust, who fortunately is back in the A's organization, AAA, and make Chavez the DH. Put Derek Barton at first, deservedly so, because he had a great spring and deserved to be playing first. And it was a way to keep Chavez's bat in the lineup, keep him off the field as much as possible. So we'll hope that Derek Barton, between the rest of this game and tomorrow, will be ready to go on Tuesday night against the Yankees.
2-2 to the leadoff hitter, Adam Jones. Jones is 1 for 2. He signaled and scored in the third. No swing. It's Marty Foster down at first.
It's too low.
Almost went around.
Could have called him out. See the head of the bat go that far. It's a swing that could be called.
Ryan Sweeney is there in right field. Well, tonight at 6:30, the Sharks and the Colorado Avalanche will face off in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Avs took Game 1. The Sharks bounced back with an overtime win in Game 2. So that series tied, a game apiece. Coverage begins at 6 o'clock with Sharks pregame live. The home of the Sharks in the Stanley Cup playoffs is Comcast Sportsnet, California. So that's Game 3 in Denver tonight. Ty Wigginton has had a couple big hits in this series. 2-run double in the third inning for Wigginton. Wigginton was signed last offseason to a 2-year contract. Coming from Baltimore.
But if you want some right-handed power, he can provide it.
Yeah. Come to Baltimore, I should say. He's been around a little bit, but you're right. He does have the ability to hit the ball at the ballpark. Pennington. Chavez cannot quite dig it out, and Wigginton is aboard.
Now Cliff Pennington, a strong arm, but decided kind of flat-footed to throw the ball and had to go into the hole a little bit. But Wigginton is not blessed with a lot of speed. Somebody just tried to pick it, maybe one that he could have stretched out a little bit farther, but that is still not an easy play for a first pitch to try to backhand a ball like that.
So the error on Pennington, that's the second error in the ball game for the A's, and their fourth error in the series. So they now have 13 errors on the year. Remember, 4 of those came on opening night. Just a bit inside, 2-1 to Nick Markakis. The Boston Red Sox lost again. The Rays 7, Red Sox 1 at Fenway Park. Boston is struggling. Tampa Bay has won the first 3 games of that series. They'll play one more tomorrow, but Boston is now 4-8, and they've lost 4 in a row.
Tampa 9-3.
Yeah.
What a start for Joe Madden. He matched the Yankees, who won today also over the Rangers. Beat Rich Harden.
Over Pennington's head into left center field. Nick Markakis is 2 for 3.
Now the outfield hitting by Markakis. High fastball inside.
14,
Just kind of beat it off him. They hit it into left center. You know, Derek Barton, we just got the report from the clubhouse through Mike Selleck, and it looked when he turned away, it was more to the back. We're told it was in the back of the right arm.
So just above the right elbow.
Right. Contusion above the right elbow.
Both runners move up. We'll see if it's a wild pitch or a pass ball. It's going to be a pass ball on Kurt Suzuki.
And it's like this game from the A standpoint on defense. It's sped up.
A little sluggish, yeah.
But it's like everything's going fast instead of kind of slowing down. Brett Anderson works quickly. That ball just off the webbing. Kurt Suzuki, a ball that more times than not he will catch. But unfortunately, that takes the double play possibility out. So Brett Anderson trying to get the strikeout. Recall his last start against the Mariners, had second and third and got a couple of big strikeouts with a hard breaking ball down and in.
A 1-0 to Reimold. Down low, 2-0. When you're playing the Orioles at this point in the season, you really want to keep it close because their bullpen is really struggling. They have lost a handful of games in the late innings already this year. Just like yesterday. If you can stay within 2 or 3 runs, you have a chance. So this was a big at bat in this game. 3-0 to Reimold with Wieters in the on deck circle. Left center, hit deep. Davis near the wall, and he leaps, and he cannot get it. 1 run scores. Markakis rounds third. He's going to come in to score, and Nolan Reimold a 2-run double. Rajay Davis did not miss it by much.
Well, that's on a 3-0 pitch also, and I don't know if Kurt Young talked about Reimold, but giving him a 3-0 fastball, and Rajay Davis jumped, had the great leaping ability, but just could not come up with it.
Oh,
man, that close. Actually, it was off his glove.
So Reimold picks up RBIs 3 and 4 on the year, and it's now 6-1 Baltimore. Wieters is 1 for 2. 8 hits now for the Orioles.
Rajay got back as close as he could to the wall and then jumped, and there are times that the wall will dislodge the ball, but he never had it in his glove cleanly. I think had he caught the ball or put the ball in his glove, the wall was not going to stop him.
Oh, everybody thought it was a strike except Field and Culbreth, and that includes Matt Wieters.
That's right. Wieters was ready to go to the dugout.
Wieters was like, oh man, strike 3 called. And Anderson gets him anyway on a swing and a miss. What do you think? Is this a strike, folks?
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
Now batting,
Look at Wieters. Wieters took the step.
Garrett Atkins.
Phil and Culbreth probably said, why are you trying to embarrass me by going to the dugout on a pitch?
I know I missed it. Edouard Ramirez starts to loosen up. This is pitch number 81 for Anderson, and it's a strike to Garrett Atkins. Pennington to his left has it. And the throw a little bit wide, but Chavez keeps his foot on the bag. 2 runs for the Orioles in the top of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th coming up 6-1 Baltimore.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time for the
Orioles 6, A's 1, bottom of the 5th inning here at the Coliseum. A's with 2 runs on 4 hits, make it 1 run on 4 hits. 6-1. Buck, Pennington, and Davis for the A's. Travis Buck struck out swinging in his first at bat. And he's behind in the count 0-2. The A's got their run in the 4th. Hit by pitch, a couple of singles, Suzuki and Fox. Got him swinging, foul tip. So that's the first out here in the bottom of the 5th. This legendary performance is brought to you by Nations. Listen in.
Tejada to left field. Well struck. Miguel Tejada has done it. Miguel Tejada has a 3-run walk-off homer to win the game. 18 in a row.
It was September 1st of 2002. Greg Papa said it best, 18 in a row off Eddie Guardado. When you've got a giant appetite, it's got to be Nations.
Who's that screaming in the background?
Greg Papa. Pennington drops one into center field, so Cliff Pennington is 2 for 2.
Have to give Pennington a lot of credit for staying in this game, because I think the last 2 throws that he's made, one an error, one a sail, as he got to Xavi at first base, kind of indicates that maybe he's fading a little bit. So good to see him get a hit with 1 out. Delicately taking the glove off at first base, the right hand. So it's, I like to see guys able to play like that, but it's, just hope it doesn't affect him too much.
Rajay Davis goes after the first pitch. It's one very high. Jones, no problem there, and that's the second out. It was the right hand, the top of the right hand.
Number 3.
Spiked by, well, there's a couple spike marks on there by the first baseman, Garrett Atkins. Pennington's like, you see what you did to me? You see what you did to me? Thanks a lot. You're bigger than I am.
Got an error because of you, because they couldn't
That's right.
make the throw.
That's right. Eric Chavez is first at bat. Derek Barton was hit by a pitch last inning. He stayed in the game to run, but then came out of the game last half inning. Eric Chavez takes over at first base. Strike outside corner with a fastball. Well, you're right, Ray. He doesn't, Mattis doesn't throw exceptionally hard. He's 90, 91, 92, but it looks like he's got pretty good control with his fastball.
Well, the changeup thrown from the same slot as his fastball, so that's good for him. But this is what Derek Barton happened as he turned away. And again, it looked like it hit him in the back, but watch the right elbow. Right above the elbow, and that's why he was kind of dangling his right arm once he got to first base, kind of that numbing feeling.
Curve, strike 3 called. It was a dandy, and Chavez knew it. 7 strikeouts for Brian Mattis. Orioles 6, A's 1, top of the 6th inning. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog expert. It's Edouard Ramirez for his 4th appearance this year. So Ramirez takes over for Brett Anderson. A rocky start for Anderson. After not allowing a run in his first 2 starts, he gives up 6 runs, 5 earned today in 5 innings. No walks, 2 strikeouts for Anderson. So Edouard Ramirez takes over. He had the good changeup and a pretty good fastball there. Swing and a miss by Lou Montanez. 82 pitches for Anderson. Kuzmanov gets up in time.
Kuz can play some third base. Made only 3 errors all of last year with the Padres, and exceptional play again here. Diving to his right, getting up quickly as Montanez runs well. Still able to get him by plenty. So an excellent play, taking extra bases away from Montanez.
Here's Justin Turner, the 8th place hitter. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Hits that one off the end of the bat. Rosales picks it up. And that's the second out. Three errors last year for Kevin Kuzmanov.
Now batting, number 3.
A record for fielding percentage.
Is Torres.
As Torres hits left-handed for the first time. Singled and scored in the 3rd, grounded out in the 4th. So as Torres 3 for 9 in this series. Scored a couple of runs yesterday. Last time we saw Edouard Ramirez was Wednesday night in Seattle. He pitched 2 innings. No runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. So he's had some time off.
The Orioles will be going up to Seattle for a series following today's game. Instead of going to Anaheim to complete their road trip on the West Coast, they'll go to Boston and head back home after the Red Sox series.
Pennington a couple steps to his left. He throws out Cesar Izturis. Edouard Ramirez has a nice inning in the top of the 6th. Still 6-1 Orioles. Light Freeze Cam.
Right fielder, number 21, Ryan Sweeney.
Coors Light Freeze Cam is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. A's come to bat in the bottom of the 6th on a beautiful afternoon at the Coliseum. Temperature in the 70s. Nice little breeze. He's trying to get something growing against the youngster Brian Mattis, who's been very good so far. No walks, 7 strikeouts through the first 5 innings. It's a good freeze right there.
I'd like to know where they found the Oreo.
Oreo colors. Yeah. 1-2 now to Ryan Sweeney.
Oh, he's out here watching the Orioles.
Yeah. Well, he better get rolling if he wants to get to Seattle in time for tomorrow night's game.
He just jump on the wing of the Orioles charter.
Just a bit inside. Full count to Sweeney. He'll be followed by Kuzmanov and then Suzuki. Outside, he walked in. A's Baseball and Comcast Sports at California is brought to you by Cache Creek's Sea Red Get Green promotions with hundreds of prizes every day until April 30th. Visit cachecreek.com for details. You see the light breeze this afternoon. Kuzmanov takes a strike on the outside corner. So Mattis walks his first hitter, and it's Ryan Sweeney leading off the bottom of the 6th. Kuzmanov is 0 for 2. He's flied to center, flied to right, and he's 1 for 13 in this series. That one's drilled to left. Montanez back, and it is over his head up against the wall. Sweeney is being waved home as Turris throw to the plate. It is not in time, and Kuzmanov doubles home a run. 6-2.
Boy, you like the aggressiveness of Mike Gallego, A's third base coach. Trailing by 5. Nobody out. Kevin Kuzmanov almost made it a 3-run game. A very good swing on a pitch that got in on him a little bit, but pulled the hands in over the hand of the left fielder. And Mike Gallego said, let's go. You got the speed, Ryan Sweeney, and went around Matt Wieters. No hesitation by Ryan Sweeney as he got to third base and really made a nice adjustment as he slid inside to avoid Matt Wieters.
So I guess you could say, don't assume you're going to be held up. Just keep running.
Suzuki, a bunt attempt. I think he may have looked at Ty Wigginton and saw that Wigginton's back a little bit at third. Sneak a bunt signal. Worst case scenario, you get a guy to third with 1 out. Jason Perkins starts to loosen up, so Orioles bullpen jumps into action.
I think what Kurt Suzuki is thinking more than anything is a base hit. Of course, he need base runners.
Adam Jones goes back. Kuzmanov goes back to tag up, and Kuzmanov will head to third, and he will make it with a slide. So Kurt Suzuki gets the runner over with a fly ball to center field.
Kuz actually went halfway and then realized as Adam Jones started to backpedal, and Adam Jones did not go back and come in on the ball. And almost conceding Kuzmanov to go to third, and then Kuz went back, looked like a little bit hesitant about going, and then just saw the throw from Adam Jones on his heels and made it in to third base. And that's important because a ground ball, sac fly, could score him, and well, the A's closer.
It's been a good game for Jake Fox. Singled in the second, singled again in the fourth, and that knocked in a run. Smash foul.
This is a big run for the A's, a gift run at third base. And with everybody playing back, except for a ball to the pitcher, an infield ground ball is going to score the run.
High fastball, swing and a miss, 1-2. Absolutely have to put the ball in play here.
Oh, it's interesting. We know Jake Fox is a good fastball hitter, yet he's hit 2 changeups for hits, 1 driving in a run, and now he's getting nothing but fastballs.
Popped it up. See if it's playable. Atkins, the first baseman. Mattis heads up. He goes to cover home as Wieters vacated home plate. So Mattis gets Fox, and that is a big out.
Now batting, second baseman, number 7, Adam Rosales.
They say if you're a fielder, even a pitcher, Ray, if you don't have anything to do, find something to do. Right. Cover a base, anything. So see if Rosales can come up with a big 2-out hit for the A's. Strike on the inside corner with a changeup. Good swing by Rosales, fouled it straight back. Rosales, a ground out and a strikeout in the ball game. He's 4 for 13 in the series.
See, Rosales really tried to stay back, and that was a fastball. Just made contact, but thinking more of the changeup. Does not want to be fooled with a couple of strikes as he was in his last at bat, striking out on a 1-2 changeup.
Got him swinging, and looks like the changeup again, and it was a good one. 8 strikeouts for Mattis, a run for the A's. So 7th inning coming up, 6-2 Baltimore. Now at shortstop, and coming into the game at second base is Eric Patterson. So what it is it's Cliff Pennington leading the game. So Rosales at short, Patterson at second. Cliff Pennington was spiked in the hand earlier in this game. Edouard Ramirez had a 3-up, 3-down, 6th inning. 3 ground ball outs. He faces the top of the Orioles order. First pitch just a bit high. Jones, Wigington, and Markakis. The Angels won their game today 3-1 in Toronto. So that is a 3-game sweep.
For a team that normally does not play well in
you
Toronto.
mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, exactly. That's I'm sure the Blue Jays kept waiting to end their little streak, but that did not happen. So the Angels playing well on their extended road trip.
And off the end of the bat, it's going to fall into left center field for a hit for Adam Jones. Hit number 9 for the Orioles. So the Angels win that game 3-1. Irvin Santana, a complete game. In fact, he was 1 out away from a shutout. But Adam Lind hit a home run in the 9th inning, and that got the Blue Jays on the board. But 3-1 was the final. So Santana, the complete game win, and that's his first win of the year. He did not walk anybody, and he struck out 6. So with the win, the Angels now 6-7. Yankees beat the Rangers 5-2. Pettit over Harden. Rich Harden went 3 2/3 innings through 94 pitches. He had 6 walks. Pettit went 8 innings. Pitched very well. Mark Teixeira, who has really struggled to start the season, hit his first home run of the year. Jorge Posada, on the other hand, who was off to a hot start, he homered as well. Outside corner strike to Ty Wigginton. Mentioned that Indians score. They beat the White Sox 7-4. Fausto Carmona got the win. Could he be back?
They hope so.
Boy, that would be a big deal for the Indians if he could regain the form he had a couple years ago. Shin Soo Choo hit a grand slam. Changeup and a swing and a miss. Tampa Bay beat Boston 7-1. The Royals beat the Twins 10-5. Twins were going for the 3-game sweep there, but Royals salvaged the final game of that series. Changeup runs inside, 2-2 the count. Tigers 3, Mariners 2 in the 6th inning at Safeco. Jones the lead at first. He had a base hit to lead off the 7th inning. Changeup, swing and a miss. Kind of a floater. Wigginton swings and misses. That's the first down. All right, visit the A's page on CSN California to vote in today's poll. You make the call, folks. Who is your favorite player from the A's 2000 to 2002 teams? Lots to choose from with that group.
All of them. They're all good. Well, Mark Mulder, part of the third part of the big 3. Part of that Barry Zito pitching well against the Dodgers. He's off to a 2-0 start. It's very unusual for him as he has been struggling in his early years with the Giants.
I watched him pitch the last time, and you know what I saw different? He's throwing a slider.
What's this all about?
Umpires talking to Edouard Ramirez.
He might have been going to his mouth. Edouard just went to his mouth, and maybe to indicate maybe something that Gary Cedarstrom and Edouard went to his mouth, but maybe didn't wipe off, or he was on the rubber when he did. Yeah, he just went there,
and then you have to wipe off.
Well, he did. Yeah. He just went off. Now he's going to check the baseball.
Well, let me ask you this question, Ray. Why wouldn't Gary Cedarstrom call a balk? It almost like he gave him a warning. You know, he said, let me see the baseball.
See, are they saying they're going to call a ball or a ball?
Or maybe not a ball, or maybe a ball.
Ball, yeah. But I think because it is a new rule, maybe just as a reminder, hey, you have to wipe your hand. I mean, he made the pitch still on the dirt, then went to his mouth. But as the great replay shown by our crew showed, he did not wipe his hand. I don't know what Edward might have in his mouth that would cause the baseball to do funny things.
Nothing special. Markakis a couple of hits today. And he hits one high down the right field line into the corner over the foul pole and foul.
You did mention Barry, and yes, he is throwing a slider. I agree with you. It's something that
he never threw that with
never
his, right?
Try to cutter, but since he's been with the Giants, or at least this year, using the cutter, maybe the second half last year. Those were some great teams with Tejada, Giambi, the offense, of course, the big three, pitching wise, and
Rajay Davis drifts back. Still going back. He's got it. Tagging up is Jones. He will race to second, and he'll make it with a slide. So good base running by Adam Jones. Gets himself into scoring
Number 14,
position.
Nolan Reinhold.
And again, once he saw the depth of the ball and the fact that it was not going to go out, Rajay, very strong arm, set up perfectly, but speed of Jones, and Rajay back to the warning track. Too long of a throw.
Nolan Reinhold steps in. Did you see highlights of the 20-inning game last night? Mets and the Cardinals. Mets won it 2-1 in 20 innings. It was 0-0 after 18 innings.
Dolly Russa had to use two position players to pitch, not just one.
Unbelievable. 46 players were used in that game, and as Ray said, two position players. 19 pitchers total. Cardinals had a couple of great opportunities to win the game earlier and couldn't do it. I saw a highlight of Tony La Russa with his hat off. He had the "Are you kidding me?" look, and I don't recall exactly what the play was. They may have had second and third with nobody out or something like that. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
Red Sox had a suspended game that was completed yesterday, and they had the bases loaded, nobody out.
That's right.
And was it a strikeout or a force out at the plate, and then a 5-3 double play, Adrian Beltre. So there's some strange ones, but now they just called it something on Ramirez. He must have done it again.
He can do it as many times. There's no rule saying it's going to be no rule that it's going to
Kurt Young, he kind of wants an explanation here. Gary Cedarstrom is the second base umpire, and he's the crew chief. All right, let's see Ramirez. Watch closely.
No, he looked like he went straight in. He wiped it off after he put his hand on the ball.
Yeah, he really did the exact same thing as he did 8-10 pitches ago when Gary Cedarstrom talked to him.
But if you go to your mouth, you go immediately to your uniform or someplace to wipe your hand before you put the hand on the ball, and then put his hand on the ball and then wiped.
Good changeup, swing and a miss. So a leadoff single, but nothing else for the Orioles. 7th inning stretch from the Coliseum, 6-2 Baltimore. Thanks, Matt. We hope you're right.
I was going to say, does he know something that we don't?
Maybe he does.
Hope he does.
He does. 6-2, bottom of the 7th, and Travis Buck to lead it off. Brian Mattis back to work. He's thrown 88 pitches so far. He's scored single runs in the 4th inning and the 6th inning. 8 strikeouts for Mattis. And he's been impressive. The Orioles will tell you that they have a host of young pitchers close to the big leagues. 3 or 4 guys that they're very high and they think are going to be terrific pitchers in the big leagues. Mattis is kind of the first of that group. Guys they really think are going to be good for a long time. But that doesn't take away the 1-11 start this year, which is obviously troubling. And they actually increased their payroll, did the Orioles, Ray? Last year their payroll was $67 million. This year it's $81. That's a significant increase. And they signed Tejada and Garrett Atkins. Got Kevin Millwood, Mike Gonzalez, the closers, and the deal. They gave him $12 million for 2 years. So they actually spent some money in the offseason. Travis Buck reaches out and lines one to right for a hit. So after a couple of strikeouts, Travis Buck has a base hit.
Left the changeup up to Travis Buck, stayed back. Some pretty good breaking balls that Travis did not bite at, but this changeup stayed on it, and another leadoff runner on base. In the last 4 innings, the A's have done that. Scored a couple of runs.
Eric Patterson gets his first at bat. Cliff Pennington out of the game. His right hand stepped on. Foul to the left side. So 1-1 the count to Patterson. Holman the lefty, Meredith the righty. Good breaking pitch, 1-2.
Yesterday when the Orioles got the lead, Dave Tremblay is looking a pretty good breaking ball. Another pitch that's up a little bit, but good break, good movement to the left-hander. Guthrie 6 2/3 innings yesterday. And man, did the wheels start turning. Yeah. 5 relievers used. Get the final 5 outs, and of course they
didn't do it. I mean, they got 4. Actually, they didn't even get that, did they?
5 outs was it. And that's a great comeback by the A's. Trying to do it again this afternoon.
Patterson out in front. That's one toward Jones in center. And Jones can't make the play. Lost it in the sun. And everybody's going to be safe. It's a base hit for Patterson. Jones gave you the impression that he may be struggling a little bit, but he never shaded his eyes. And
got to turn to the side. You can't look directly into it.
Could be too right, too. He maybe lost it right at the last minute.
Travis Buck, you go halfway. You're an outfielder. You know the sun's tough. Keep an eye on it, and just in case, and ready to go on the back foot to sprint towards second base. Well, Adam Jones, as you see outfielders, all players mostly wear the wraparound sunglasses, but I would tell you that they are not as good as the old flip downs because of the tough sun. This sun is the hardest probably in most baseball cities here at the Coliseum. But you also, as I mentioned, turn the sideways. You get to the side so you try to look around the sun instead of looking straight into it. So can the lost ball in the sun be thing that helps the A's get going here at just the 7th inning.
Like a wild pitch into the seat.
Yeah. Hit a divot.
Rajai Davis is 0 for 3. Strike on the outside corner. This will be pitch number 100 from Mattis. In the dirt. The guys in the bullpen are heating up, and looks like they're ready to go. Changeup way out in front is Rajai Davis.
Stay back, Rajai. It's a pitch that he tried to go after, and a very good changeup. Remember the first inning, he threw back-to-back changeups to strike out Rajai.
Slowly hit towards short. Orioles will get one. The turn, not in time. To third goes Buck. 1 out.
Oh, to have that kind of blazing speed for Rajai Davis, and got to be thinking too. Somebody's going to his bullpen, and the lefty. Great hustle by Rajai Davis.
So Mattis, 102 pitches in 6 1/3 innings. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and tune up your oil change, tune up, and smog experts. Pitching change, Ullman coming in.
Coming in to pitch for the Orioles,
Bottom of the 7th inning. The A's have 1st and 3rd and 1 out, and the Orioles have gone to their bullpen. It's the lefty Will Ullman. Ullman has pitched in the last 2 games and now 3 straight. He threw 11 pitches on Friday, 12 pitches yesterday. So he faces Chavez, and then in the on-deck circle is Sweeney.
He was the first pitcher following Jeremy Guthrie yesterday. Came in after Guthrie got 2 quick outs, and then walked Barton and Sweeney, the 2 lefties that he faced. And Alvarez had to come in and get Kuzminoff, get out of the inning. So those are all the pitches from 2 walks.
He almost just threw it down the right field line.
Rajai a threat to steal, and Todd Stevenson a good job getting out of the way. You never want to be a first base coach to stop a ball from getting past the first baseman.
Davis a good lead at first. He's not running. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Chavez struck out looking in the 5th. That was his first at bat. He came in for Derek Barton, who was hit by a pitch earlier in the game. left center. Hit pretty well, but in the ballpark. Reimold, the left fielder, squares up, makes the catch. Coming in to score is Travis Buck, so Eric Chavez with a sacrifice fly, and it's 6-3.
A very good bet by Xavi after swinging and missing a couple of pitches. The more and more he goes to left field, the better and better he's going to get this year. Did not start the game in at first base because of Derek Barton getting hit. So that run charged to Ryan Mattis. He's got one more out there.
There's a ball loose out in left field. Reimold turns around and trots toward the wall to pick it up. Ryan Sweeney is 0 for 2 this afternoon, so he is sitting on a 12-game hitting streak to start the season. Remember, he was not in the starting lineup for one of the A's games earlier this year.
Game in Seattle on Wednesday night that he got the night off.
Slices that one foul, left side.
All of the A's players get an off day tomorrow.
I think they're ready for that. 14 straight to start the season. They'll have the next 2 Mondays off.
The way they're playing.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes you don't want it, but it will be tomorrow. The Yankees are in town.
Pitching matchups are in for that series. Gio Gonzalez, Javier Vasquez on Tuesday. Ben Sheets, Phil Hughes on Wednesday. Dallas Braden, CC Sabathia on Thursday. Should be fun.
But I think for Derek Barton and Cliff Bennington, both coming out of the games, let's hope their injuries are minimal, because of the lefties or the 2 righties pitching on Tuesday and Wednesday with the 2 left-handed hitters. Of course, one switch hitter, but Hughes and Vasquez both right-handed. Then CC Sabathia, the big lefty from Vallejo, in the series finale.
Just a bit low. Vasquez has struggled. His ERA is 9.82. One of the big offseason acquisitions for the Yankees, coming over from the Braves. Sweeney bounces one off Ullman's glove.
Oh, how about that?
He's going to be safe, but Rajai Davis is going to be out.
No. Well, the continuation is going to get the hit. As Rajai rounded the base too far.
It is indeed a base hit, but
a
mistake by Rajai Davis as he's tagged out at second base. Jeez. 6-3, top of the 8th. Oh, base running mistake by Rajay Davis.
Somebody maybe too fast can hurt as this ball around, and Rajay was thinking about going to third base because he thought the throw was going to go to first. And that's where the little deep, the fake, and back to the second baseman. Rajay could not get back. And of course, you'd have to think, and Rajay's a good enough base runner to know that a ball off the pitcher deflected it. There's no way they're going to throw out Ryan Sweeney. He just got too aggressive and he tried to do a little bit too much on a play that he was not going to be able to.
New pitcher for the A's, it's Tyson Ross. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune Up, your oil change, tune up, and smog experts. So very excited about what we've seen from Tyson Ross so far this season.
So are the A's.
For good reason. Wieters is retired. Well, Michael Wirtz is close to coming back. Maybe this week, hopefully.
Starting today for the Sacramento River Cast. First inning, he pitched 1 inning, so he is making his second rehab appearance. So very close, maybe one more. But as a reliever, he can do it every other day or so. Whereas Trevor Cahill will be going tomorrow to Sacramento to pitch in his first rehab assignment. Kurt Young telling him it's going to be about 60 pitches. So I think it goes the next 3, but for him, it's going to have to be in 4 to 5 days as a starter.
Well, that means when he comes back, somebody's got to go. So you got Breslow, Blevins, your 2 lefties, Ross, Godin, Ramirez, Ziegler, and Bailey.
Talk about Wirtz.
When Wirtz comes back, yeah. So the A's will have a decision to make. Guzman off. Throws out Garrett Atkins.
Tyson Ross continues to do very well. This was Thursday. That great 2-seamer, sinker, and challenge fastball to Luke Scott. And the slider strike out of Wingington. Of course, that was the night everybody wearing number 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson. Tyson Ross went to spring training, second year in a row, kind of an invite and see how he does. And here he is in the big leagues and may not go back.
Man, it would be hard to not keep him. Guy who can go 2-3 innings when you need it. And Bob Guerin has said it. A big part of the success the A's have had in the early going, they've had 3 walk-off wins. Well, you win a game in your last at bat, obviously it's a close game. Sometimes the bullpen pitches innings 6, 7, 8, keeps the game close, allows you to come back and win a game. Luke Montanez is the hitter.
And we knew coming into the season it was going to be a good, very good pitching staff, and all Michael Wirtz is going to do is make it better by coming back off the DL. And that, you start thinking about whose space is going to take. Well, that's a nice problem to have when you have a guy who struck out 101 from the bullpen last year, coming back on the active roster.
Swing and a miss. 3 up, 3 down inning for Tyson Ross with the strikeout. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 6-3 Baltimore.
be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
All right, here's our game summary for today. It's brought to you by McDonald's. 6-9-0 for the Orioles, 3-9-2 for the Athletics. A couple of two-out hits by the Orioles in the third inning. They got their scoring started, and that was when they scored 3 times. Jim Johnson is on. Johnson is the closer for the Orioles. Of course, he had the nightmare 9th inning yesterday. And I'm sure that Dave Tremley says, let's get him back out there as quick as possible and see what happens in the 9th inning. But he's out there here in the 8th.
Question is he going to pitch 2 innings to try to get the save, or is he just a setup for somebody else for the 9th? Tyson Ross with a very solid 8th inning. Now Chad Godin gets loose in the A's bullpen.
Way outside, blocked by Wieters.
I don't know if Matt Wieters is going to try to duplicate what happened yesterday. I don't know that you could try it 1,000 times to hit a hole in the left-handed batter's box and have it end up in the stands behind home plate.
Adam Jones coming in, and he's got this one, and that's the first out.
Well, Tuesday's coming up. Tomorrow's an off day. It's the first game of a 3-game series against the Yankees. First pitch 7:05. 10,000 fans will receive a poster featuring Brett Anderson, Dallas Braden, and Andrew Bailey. It's presented by Kingsford Capital Management. Order tickets at OaklandAthletics.com, or you can call 877-493-BALL. Should be a nice poster of 3 stars of the club.
Suzuki takes a strike. Kurtz 1 for 3 with a base hit in the 4th inning. Tigers still leading the Mariners 3-2 in the 7th inning. Right center, well hit, but Markakis has it at the warning track. Well struck ball by Kurt Suzuki. In the glove of Markakis. 2 outs here in the 8th inning.
Number 50.
That's the giveaway today, the pet calendar. Pictures of A's players with their pets. Pictures taken in spring training. Always a popular giveaway.
You know, when Michael Zagaris is making the taking the pictures, it's always going to be good.
Yep. Jake Fox steps in against Jim Johnson. Fox is 2 for 3. A couple of singles and an RBI. And he swings and misses at a pitch in the dirt. Fox had a chance to knock in another run in the 6th. He came to bat with a runner on 3rd and 1 out. And he fouled out to 1st. Frustrating at bat for Fox. But all in all, a good day, 2 for 3. And that fastball way inside.
It's going to hit him.
Jake got a piece of it. I don't know how.
It's all right, protect with 2 strikes, but maybe he's protecting the ball hitting him in the chest.
Protecting on 0-1.
Yeah.
Look out.
Good to see Jake climbing up on the interstate. He's at 185, starting against the bat with a couple of hits today.
He'll get there.
Does not have a lot of at-bats. Some good ones today.
Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Jim Johnson has a good bottom of the 8th inning. 9th inning coming up. Orioles with a 6-3 lead.
Ladies and gentlemen, join us this Tuesday.
Time now for the Jeep drive of the game. On the A's, Brett Anderson, Nolan Reimold up. Black is going to be as a 3-0 fastball, and Rajay Davis, his best effort, leaping, just missed the ball. As it turned out, it was a double, 2-run score. Rajay really went up high, had the ball at least off his glove a little bit, but could not hang on, and Reimold a big hit at the time, especially swinging 3-0, getting the fastball.
(6-3) ninth inning here at the Coliseum. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. Chad Godin comes in the game. Chad pitched in last night's game, threw just 8 pitches, so he's back out there for the second game in a row. He'll face Turner, Esturas, and Jones. 8, 9, and 1 for the Orioles. First pitch, fastball, first strike. In the bottom of the ninth, the A's will have Rosales, Buck, and Patterson, 3 scheduled hitters. Tyson Ross, an inning of work with the strikeout. Edouard Ramirez, a couple good innings. So the bullpen has done their job so far. Turner playing second base in this game. He's 0 for 3. He's grounded out 3 times. Miguel Tejada not in the lineup for the Orioles today. And another foul ball.
You mentioned the Yankees in town starting Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Of course, a great opportunity to come out and watch the world champion Yankees as they come in and take on the Athletics. Twice they will be coming to the Bay Area to play the A's this year.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
It'll be a lot of fun, and tickets available for all 3 games. Of course, if you can't come out to watch the A's in person, of course, all 3 games on Comcast Sportsnet California. They will be Plus, California Plus on Tuesday.
The Yankees will be back here in Oakland on July 5, 6, and 7. That's a Monday, a Tuesday, and a Wednesday.
Yeah, both times it's during the week. So I know school's in session, but still a great opportunity to see your club, the A's, take on the world champions and try to win the series as they have done already against the Orioles to open this homestand. Won the first 3, so assured of winning the series. So that's 3 of the first 4 series the A's will have won.
Yankees won their game today. They are 9-3. I understand the Yankees will fly to the Bay Area tonight, so they will spend their off day in the Bay Area.
I wonder if that was because Nick Swisher still probably has his home here.
Yeah, yeah. Swish wanted an extra night in his new house. Sweeney racing back, still going back, and did he make the play? He did. Sensational play by Ryan Sweeney. Shades of Jim Edmonds about 15 years ago.
And you got to love it. Down 3 in the top of the 9th inning, a ball over his head, and just a great job of going back on the ball, playing shallow to rob of a hit maybe in front of him, but kept his eye on it, cradled in the glove, into the warning track. And what a tremendous play by Ryan Sweeney, getting the ovation from the hometown crowd.
Number 3.
Well, he did not have it cradled in the pocket 100% until he started to hit the ground. Cliff Clavin, you got your job cut out for you again. Your work cut out, playing another uniform, but you can do it.
Down the right field line past Chavez, so Izturis is going to have a double. 2 hits for Cesar Izturis in the game.
A great shot of Ryan Sweeney. Watch. Reaches out. Look where the ball is, in the pocket of his glove, but closes the glove and it starts to come out, but then really squeezes the glove.
Number 10.
Cradles it up in the webbing and hit the ground hard. And you know, at the very first pitch, the next batter doubled down the right field line and got to kick it in gear to start again. Call timeout, Rhino. And you play in the outfield 9 innings and never have 1 ball hit to you. Sweeney had 2 in a matter of 10 seconds.
Here's Adam Jones, and he swings and misses. A couple of hits in the afternoon for Jones.
I actually know why the Yankees are coming out tonight. It's been the off day here, so that Brian Cashman, the general manager, can bring Chad Gaudin's World Championship ring and present it to him.
Sure.
Chad with the Yankees last year. So he's got a ring coming. A lot of times when a player leaves a club that won the World Championship, the general manager will fly to where the player is and make the presentation. Just so happened with Deki Matsui. The Angels were in town last Tuesday, and he got his ring as the MVP of the World Series. Now with the Angels, but Chad Gaudin, he will get his soon.
3-1 to Jones, with Wigginton waiting in the on-deck circle. There's a strike. The Orioles bullpen is quiet, so Jim Johnson, who pitched the 8th inning, he will go out there for the 9th as well. Jones got a pretty good pitch to hit there, but fouled it back. So 3-2 again. See where Alex Rodriguez, who hit his first home run of the year yesterday, passed Mark McGwire for 8th place in the all-time home run list with that home run yesterday. 584. Jones swings and misses. That's the second out.
Good fastball by Chad Gaudin. Just running in there, 3-2, just challenged him.
Number 23, Ty Wigginton.
So Ty Wigginton steps in.
Reminded that Edward Ramirez, also a member of the Yankees last year, and although he was not part of the postseason, but usually if you are a member of a World Championship team throughout the season, you will get a ring. So probably have to add some extra cargo to bring 2 championship rings. The 27th of the world champion Yankees.
Well, we'll see a Yankee team that, after winning the World Series last year, made some fairly significant changes. The big names are also there, but they acquired Curtis Granderson, Javier Vasquez. Suzuki grabs it as it was sailing high.
Yeah, Melky Cabrera is not there.
Yeah, Nick Johnson they signed. Yeah. Randy Wynn.
Those 3 A's you're seeing are the 3 scheduled batters in the bottom of the 9th. Chad trying to keep it a 3-run game. See if the A's have a little more magic in the 9th.
Three 3-0 to Wigginton. Wigginton has scored a couple of runs, and he has knocked in a couple runs in this game. reached on an error in the 5th, so he's 1 for 4. He's had a good series. Fastball, swing and a miss, 3-2.
Another good fastball, and what's special about that, when you know when the hitter knows the fastball is coming, you can throw it by him. Do it again or throw him the slider as always. Markakis starting to swing the bat better in the on-deck circle, might enable Wigington to get another fastball.
Churras is the runner at second, and the 3-2 pitch is hit to left. Buck going back, still going back, and that one is gone. Ty Wigington has knocked in 4 runs today, and it's 8-3 Orioles.
But he did go back to the slider, and it was not a good one. And Ty Wigington showed his strength on the changeup from Dallas Braden a couple of nights ago, and
Number 21.
shows his real strength on a slider, 3-2.
Like he was out ahead of it just a little bit.
Just very strong upper body.
The Orioles scored 7 runs total in the first 3 games of this series. They have 8 this afternoon. They also have 11 hits in the game. Two and 1 to Markakis, who's 2 for 4. Knocked in a run, scored a run. Rosales has it. Make that Patterson. Stand corrected, but a couple of runs for the Orioles. Ty Wigington, a 2-run shot, but how about the play by Ryan Sweeney to start the inning? Sensational defensive play.
Toyota. Say yes to amazing deals on your favorite Toyotas. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota. Yes. By Xfinity. The next generation in home entertainment. Now available in the Bay Area and coming soon to the Central Valley. And by the Chevy Spring Event with great deals on award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
He's got a lot of work to do. They trail 8-3, bottom of the 9th inning. And Rosales hits it sharply, but right into the glove of Nick Markakis. And 1 pitch, 1 out in the 9th.
Now batting, left fielder, number 6, Travis Buck.
So that'll bring up Travis Buck. Buck is 1 for 3. A single and a run scored in the 7th. Before that, a couple of strikeouts. On the dive is Turner. He can't get it, and it's a base hit for Travis Buck. So Travis is 2 for 4. Be nice to get his bat going.
Getting the opportunities, and maybe that will be the case Tuesday and Wednesday against the right-handers. The A's will face against the Yankees, but Gabe Gross also swinging well. Very good angle to the outfield. Play that Mark Ellis makes exceptionally well.
Second at bat for Eric Patterson. Patterson hit a fly ball to center field that Adam Jones lost in the sun, difficult sun. And he was awarded a base hit. Right now he's behind in the count 0-2. Very close pitch. So Johnson is going to really get 2 innings of work here. Swing and a miss, and good pitch by Johnson. A downward movement.
He's got the good curveball and the changeup that acts sometimes like a splitter. Two-seamer, but came into the 8th inning with a 3-run lead, so qualified for a save.
10 strikeouts for Orioles pitchers tonight. Rajay Davis 0 for 4. Davis did reach in the 7th inning on a fielder's choice. Right back to Johnson. Flips to first, and that's the ball game. So the Baltimore Orioles get a big afternoon from their offense and a pretty good pitching performance from Brian Mattis, and they salvage the final game of this 4-game series. The final score, the Orioles 8 and the A's 3. So the A's take 3 out of 4. Their record going into the day off is 9-5. And they will get ready for the New York Yankees. Stay tuned. A's post-game live with Matt and Carney is set to go from the studio.